Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new video, and this one is a little bit different. I'm working on a combination album, and I have the completed part already in here. This was my trip to Oklahoma City, and then I spent a few hours in Dallas-Fort Worth before I flew home. All of these layouts were done in Canva, so I designed them in there, then I had them printed, and then I embellished with actual physical product after the fact. There is a flip through video of that. If you haven't watched it, I would say maybe go see that first, especially if you're interested in using Canva perhaps for some digital layouts. So I'll try to remember to link that below. But this album is not completely full. There is a little bit of room to work with, so I'm trying to fit another trip in there, which is Denver. I flew out on May 31st. I flew back on June 2nd. And I used to live in Colorado, so I was there for work, but I also got to enjoy some time with my friend back home and my goddaughter, so they are in here as well. But you can see I have all of my layouts done already, the ones that I chose to do it in Canva and have them printed. You can see here, obviously I'm going to embellish there. I also have some memorabilia that I need to fit in here. And then similar to what I did with Oklahoma City and Dallas-Fort Worth, is you can kind of see I have some physical inserts that are in here that will happen again for Denver, because I have a couple of things that either weren't well suited to a layout, so they need to be on their own, or they're physical items. Like I went to a Broadway show when I was there, and so I have stuff from that I want to include. So it's going to be a mix of things, but I just kind of wanted to give you the feel of how this is laid out at the start if you've never used Canva or done an album of that style. And then let me know, are you a fan of putting multiple trips in the same album when they're not from the same area? Like I have an album coming, this year, 2024, that's all Chicago, because I will be there 4 times this year. That makes sense, obviously, to put those all in one, but these are completely separate trips. I'm really only doing it because I'm trying to save space. I have so many albums because I've been scrapping since 1997. I have so many albums I need to combine somewhere where I can. And here, if I've got a little bit of space left and I feel like I can squeeze it in there, I will, just to avoid having another album on my shelf. All right, so here I have my bin of stuff. I tend to do at least 2 trips in each bin because otherwise I would run out of space very, very quickly. So in this one I had St. Louis and Denver. You can see it was previously Cincinnati. When I finished that, crossed it out and moved Denver into there. I'm actually also done with St. Louis. I've already done that album, so you've already seen it, it's out. Now I am really just working on Denver. So anything that's in here is leftover stuff I didn't use for St. Louis that might work for this, plus all of my memorabilia. So in here you can see I have the booklet that we get at graduation that has all the students' names in there. I'm obviously not going to use this whole thing, it's far too thick. Really, I think I just want to maybe take off the cover and use that somehow and put something on the back. So it could be that one of these layouts over here ends up on the back of this, but I would have to trim it, obviously, because it's bigger than 4 inches wide. So we'll see what happens there. I also may just like take out our logo thing. I'm not sure, but I have it because I want to use some part of it, so it's in there. And I have this little insert I may or may not use. It's a very good size for this album, so I want to try to use it. And I purposely match the colors. Let me grab the layout here, right here. I purposely match the colors if I end up putting these back to back, because I could do that and just trim it a little bit and then have some background paper showing if I wanted to. So I like having options, but I wanted to make sure it would at least feel like it goes together. So I did choose to use similar colors there. So that's kind of a fun thing that I have. And given that I have this, do I need both? No. So actually, if I ended up not using this, I wouldn't be heartbroken, but I grabbed it just in case. And I should also say I grabbed this because I've stayed at this hostel before, but they had done a huge remodel since I'd been there last. Oh my gosh, it's even more gorgeous inside now, and just like the lobby is better laid out. So if you're in Denver, especially if you're traveling solo and you're looking for a good place to stay, this place is awesome. It's cheaper than a hotel for most of the rooms, and I always get a private room. I don't do dorms in hostels. I can't sleep, so you can get a private room. It's really close to the Denver Art Museum. It's walkable to pick up the bus, the free bus that goes on the 16th Street Mall. So it's a very good option in Denver. That's my little plug for that. Then I have my ticket from when I went to the show. I have this, which is ginormous. So I may scan this and shrink it, or I may just try to find something online that I can use instead that's just a better fit, because this is so large. And I'll go through here and see, are there any smaller like logos or something I can use? But interestingly, like, I didn't really enjoy this show, actually. That's part of what I printed on my layout and journaled, because, you know, I've seen a lot of good shows, so I think my expectations are also a little high, and this show just didn't really hit for me. But I still want to talk about it and include it. So those are my memorabilia things that I want to include. So I always put those in the bin with all of the things I'm considering using, just so that everything is together. So I have all of the printed layouts here, and I think what I'm going to do is try to fit them in order. I mean, they're in chronological order as is, but I want to kind of lay out how it's going to look with my inserts that I have that are not full layouts and my memorabilia items. Figure that out before I touch anything in terms of embellishing, because I need to make sure that it's going to match and then end the right way, meaning like this, like my last page will actually be here, and I won't need to figure out how to add in an extra page. So that's kind of how I lay out albums when I start in general anyway. I do all the prep that I can before I actually jump in and start working on layouts. Let me know if you do that too. And do you do a bin like this where you kind of keep everything in there together so that when you're ready to work on it, it's all there? I'm always interested in how other people organize. So if you have any other tips or you want to share things you do, please share. We'd all love to hear. Otherwise, I will see you back here when I actually start working on this album. Thanks for watching.